Everyone, I'm Jodylynn and welcome to Aging Naturally. Today we're going to be talking about acceptance and acceptance of this aging process. I'm going to be honest and tell you that I'm not embracing this process. I'm not. And let me know if you're with me. However, I am embracing something else. And that something else is what has really been helping me to get through this process. So let's get started. First of all, just a couple of housekeeping things. I have not done any Instagram or any YouTube for about a week now. It is with a heavy heart that one of my dear friends has passed. I've known her since I was 17, so about 33 years. She was 50, had a beautiful family, married, 3 kids, way too young to pass. Unfortunately, it was cancer. We were hopeful though, but things took a turn for the worst very quickly. So it was quite sudden, and that's what I've been going through, having to go out of town to attend a funeral, and so I've needed some time to kind of gather myself. So while I've been thinking about this grieving process, and there's definitely some acceptance that needs to happen eventually during this process. So this has really made me think also about acceptance of our age, and it can be pretty difficult. And I wanted to share with you some things and kind of the things that I've been thinking about and what has really been helping me to get through accepting what's going on with us during this aging process. So first of all, let's just talk about what's going on with us throughout this aging process. So a lot of different things are happening, right? We're seeing changes in our face. We're seeing elastin, collagen. We're seeing our face is definitely getting heavier. We're not liking the way that our neck is looking. We are seeing all of those years of sun damage is showing up in hyperpigmentation. And then let's just throw in there how the body is not performing the way that it once was. And we are feeling aches and pains. Injuries are taking longer to heal. Also, we're aging, so family members are aging around us, and you might be turning into now a caregiver for your parents, and also maybe just friends and family. They are experiencing health concerns at this age, so you need to be there, a loving rock and support for them during this time. And then some women have children, and they're feeling kind of like that empty nest. Their children are growing older and are leaving and going off to college or being independent, and so the house isn't as cozy as it once was. So there's a lot of things going on with us during this age, as well as, let's just throw in there, menopause. Yeah. So not only are we dealing with all of those things, but now we're dealing with menopause, foggy brain, hot flashes, sporadic periods or end of them, which that's been really nice, let's just be honest. And just a lot of stuff that's going on through menopause that can be overwhelming, depression, just a lot of things. And everyone experiences menopause in many different ways. So this is what has been helping me. The first one, and I think that this is not discussed enough, is grieve. Really just allow frustration. Like, it is okay to be kind of angry with what's going on with us. Like, we're kind of grieving that young self that we're never going to get back. Let's just be honest. We are aging, and that is what's happening. So I say the number one step, honestly, is to kind of get frustrated if you are, and it's okay. Hopefully you have someone that you can talk to, hopefully another woman or many other different women friends that are going through the same thing, that you guys can just sit down and have a couple of glasses of wine or tea, whatever it is, and just vent about what's going on with you. I think that that is the number one thing that we need to do first. The next thing that I think that is really important is knowledge. So knowing exactly what is going on with you, and if there's anything out there that can help you. So if you're going through menopause, or you're noticing that a lot of things are really off with you, making sure that you're going to see a doctor, making sure that you're getting a gynecologist. That has completely changed my life. So knowing that there were things that were going on with me that was very common, and knowing that I can do something about it made me feel empowered. I don't know about you, but no doctor, and I have not heard this from any other woman, but when I started aging, no doctor came and sat with me and said, hey, you're getting closer to menopause. How are you feeling? Do you want to talk about some of the symptoms that might be happening and some things that you might be able to do? Do you also want to talk about some health risks that may be associated with this process? Because that's really important. Nobody did. I had to go on the search and on the hunt myself. Once I started knowing what was going on with me, I felt a lot more empowered to do something about it. And I think that this goes true for anything that you're dealing with in your life, and you need to find some acceptance. So if it's grieving over a loved one, going to maybe a support group, reading a book on grief, getting some knowledge underneath your belt on what it is that you're going to be experiencing and how that process happens, it's going to make you feel more empowered in understanding what's going on with you. And what I've found with knowledge is when you're on the hunt, is trying to get the emotion out of it. Because when you're on the hunt to know some information and you've got a lot of emotion involved, you may make a decision that you're not happy with, and there may be potential risks down the road that you weren't even considering. So if there is a way that you can become neutral and become more like a scientist when you're doing some research, I think that that is going to benefit you also long term. So the next thing is, after you've got your knowledge, is power. I feel like you can now take action. You are now empowered to be able to make some changes if you need to, or modify. And I say focus on the things that you can change. I think that most things we can change. There are definitely things that we cannot change. So we need to focus on what it is that we can control. I think that that is more important. If we're focused on the things that we cannot change, then we become a victim, and we know where that mentality goes, and it's not helpful. It's not a happy life. So focus on what you can change to become more empowered to make those changes. When we do not have knowledge, we feel helpless, and you can't really get to a place of change, or positive change, I should say, when you're feeling helpless. So knowledge, and then of course taking action, is really going to make you feel more confident and in control of the situation. Try to focus on honoring the change rather than resisting the change. I think that most of us knows the more that you resist, the more that it will persist. So how do we do that? So for me, it's about changing my mindset. So rather than looking in the mirror or being frustrated with whatever it is, and you know that self-negative talk that we all have, probably things that we say to ourselves that we would never want to hear from anybody else, and could be very damaging to our heart, and we're saying them to ourselves. So we want to shut that voice down, and we want to do it by focusing on those things that we love. And I don't just mean physical things, I also mean our internal beauty things as well. Focus on those things that you are wonderful at and your strengths. When you focus more on the things that you love about yourself, those things that you don't necessarily care about yourself, they get less and less and less because you're not focused on them. And you're also going to see people around you are going to be noticing all of those wonderful qualities that are in you, because there's that shift in energy. And it's really a beautiful thing. There is so much wisdom as aging women that we have. So honoring that and also understanding that we have wisdom to share, I think is really important. Let's be honest, when we leave this earth, people are not going to say, oh, it was how she dealt with her wrinkles, or oh, it was she had this beautiful toned face. Of course not. What they're going to say is how you affected them. This is what I have been really embracing, which is redefining this aging process and reinventing myself. That's how I do it. It has been really a lot of fun and a lot of joy just figuring out who I kind of want to be during this second phase of my life. I've been really having a lot of fun trying to redefine my style, how I want to present myself physically as well as internally, how I want to present myself to the world. What do I want my purpose to be this second phase of my life? These are just some questions that I've been kind of, working through. Do I want to become more bold, a risk taker, be more courageous and trying new and different things? And I'm feeling that is something that I can definitely embrace rather than embracing aches and pains or embracing fine lines and wrinkles. Those are not things that I'm embracing, let's be honest. So maybe trying to shift your mindset on reinventing yourself. I'm finding it to be a lot of fun. The next thing that I think is really important in the accepting phase is having a great core group of people that are around you, that are positive, that are loving, that are kind. Let's be honest, when you've got a lot of negative Nellies around in your core group, it is really difficult to be accepting of what's going on with you and whatever it is that you're dealing with. So I am very picky and choosy about who is in my tight group, and I think it's really important to do that, to be able to live a healthy life, really, also. That's really important, because negative Nellies can bring you down and just not feel good, and when you're not feeling good, your immune system's not feeling good, and other things are not working as they should. So a good support system, a loving, kind support system is really important. Also, when we are talking about people around you, I think it's also to make sure that we're being reflective and that we are putting out to the world what it is that we want in return. So making sure that we're being loving and that we are being kind and we are supporting other women. Let's be honest, women are already judged way too much, especially older women. There are so many people out there, when you become older, they're going to let you know what you should be wearing, how you should be acting, what you should be doing, how your hair should be. It's ridiculous. I believe truly that the only way that is going to stop is more and more women stop judging other women. We have to stick together and honor and love each other, and we've got to let that go. So let me know what your thoughts are about that. And then this to me is, I think, just kind of that foundation is patience. So patience in whatever it is that you are going through during that time is really important. So having patience, and this is what I think is really interesting, is that the universe shows us that nothing happens quickly. If you are planting a garden, it takes time for those tomatoes or lettuce or whatever it is that you're growing to grow. If you have injured yourself, it takes time for it to heal. So if people are building buildings, it takes time. So we know this, but for some reason there's this internal part of us that we need everything to happen right now. And I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 30 pounds within four weeks, which is just so unrealistic. So being patient is more important than ever, I feel, especially in the second phase of our lives. During this phase, the universe is saying, we don't do things like that around here. We take our time, right? We need more rest days when we're working. We can take a nap during the day. Like, it's okay. in honoring that we might need more rest, in honoring that things just are going to take a little bit more time, is going to get us, I think, some really beautiful results rather than trying to move things so quickly, which can just lead to other problems and just your goal, you just don't reach your goal. It takes much longer. Anyway, that's what I found. That is probably the number one thing that I would tell my younger 20-year-old self, if I could go back into time, is have patience. The more that you resist, the longer this process is going to take. If any of those things resonated with you, what are some other ways that you're finding acceptance in this aging process? We would all love to know. The next thing that I'm going to go ahead and discuss is my wellness journey, or my 20-pound weight loss that I am trying to lose before my 50th birthday. So as you know, I had a lot going on last week and going out of town, and that was the farthest thing from my mind, was counting calories with what was going on with me. So there were days when I ate really low, there were days when I ate really high, and there were definitely days when I probably had a little bit too much wine. Now, the thing that I have learned the most in losing weight loss is that it's not about that one day. It is about being in a calorie deficit the majority of the time for a long period of time in order to lose the weight. So I knew in my mind going through this process that it was temporary. I kept telling myself, it's temporary. And I tried to make some best decisions as I could with going through with what I was going through, knowing that once I got back home and I got into my routine, that I would definitely be getting back on track. So I did that. I actually thrive in routine. Actually, when I'm off my routine, I get just, mentally it's not good for me, so routine is really good for me. But I actually got down, I lost another, I can't remember, but I'm down 151.6. So I think that total is about 5.4 pounds that I've lost. So I'm feeling good about that. I'm not sure how that happened, but you know what? I'm not going to argue about it. We're going to be really happy about that. I want to end with a viewer comment. So Mary Ann, she left a wonderful comment on my last video about which device is the best, where I compare several different microcurrent devices, and I'm not going to read it in length because she put so much thought and energy into it. I'm going to highlight it, I'm going to pin it. I want you guys to go and read it if you're looking for a microcurrent device. She is in her 60s. She has bought several microcurrent devices, Claire Blend, Pico Toner, I think even the Face Gym one, the EMS device that I was talking about. And what was interesting about her is that she actually really likes EMS. And the reason that she likes it is because she says that first, she has thicker skin, and she found it to be very helpful in this area with her thicker skin. So I thought that that was really very helpful and informative information. So go ahead and check out her comments and that video. So I hope that this resonated with you. If it did, please go ahead and give this video a like. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming video. Until next time.